Hello guys, and what's going on? So in this one I'm going to show you what basically comments are. So a comment is just a line or a couple of lines that's not executed by the PHP. Okay, when your interpreter comes in and executes your script, it will not execute the commented lines. So I basically use lines. Lines, when you want to create or write short notes for your code, you will use comments. Or when you want to remind yourself what this piece of code does, and how it works and all of that. When you have this big project, you will definitely need those comments, and not just for yourself, for your colleagues, you name it. So this is basically what comments are, and they're actually really simple to write. There is two kinds of comments: a one-line comment and a multi-line comment. Okay, so let me start with one-line comment, and there's two ways to write it. First of all, the number sign, and then we can write all we want. This line is commented, just like that. And if we save this, go back to our, let me see, yeah, I created a file already, so I can go ahead, just run it like this, and you can see there's actually nothing in here. If we open our inspect, you can see nothing on this page right there. So if we go ahead and write something right here, it will appear in this color, okay, which is the color of a constant. Okay, so this one executed, this one, sorry, it's not executed, but this one will be executed. Okay, the second method for creating one-line comments is basically the slash. Okay, just like that. If we say, let's say, this line is also commented. We save this, go back to our browser, and refresh it out, so nothing will actually appear right here. Now to the multi-line comment, and this basically, slash and asterisk, and then a slash, just like that. And we can open it like this and write all our comment content right here. So this is multi-line comment. Okay, just like that. If we go back and refresh it, you can see nothing in there. But if we go over here and write any code we want, let's say no comments, it will show up as it is. So you can see how easy this is. Comments are really important. You might think that they're not, but they're actually really important. You might use them even for debugging. When your code breaks and you want to just analyze every line, which line breaks, and you want to comment it so it doesn't break your code, so you can actually get going with writing your program. Just for little analyzation and debugging. So it's really easy and simple, and you will use it a lot. So this is it for comments, and peace. So now to a short one. and this should have been, in the variables lecture, but I missed it, and I want to tell you about it because I think it's important, even in a crash course. So this one is going to be about single vs double quotes. I just created my file right here. Okay, and basically the difference is, actually, let me just create a variable first. Let me call that variable, str, short for a string, and let me call it normal string, just right there. So the difference is, when you try, let me start with single quotes first. The difference is when we try and output this one right here, in our single quotes. Let me say, actually, let me just try and echo it out. I don't need to echo out anything, just the variable. So I just I want to echo out this variable right there, and let me just let me see what will the result will be. So I'm here in my Chrome, and you can see right there, here is the result. So the single quotes will just will print out just the string itself. It will not print out the actual variable. On the other hand, if we try this, the double quotes version, it will print out the variable itself, and this is called the second condition. It's called variable interpolation. So the single quotes will only print out the actual string that's taken, or that's in that's inside it, but the single quotes will print out the actual the actual value of this variable. And let me add any text right here. Here is my and it will be, here is my normal text. It will take this as a text, but when it comes here to the $sign and anything that followed by it, if it's of course a variable name, it will parse this out and echo out the actual value of the string. Let me just echo out a BR right there. And there you go. Here is my normal string. So this is basically the difference between them. I just think it's really important, that you know it. And this is it for this one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and what's going on? So in this one, we are going to talk about data types. So data types are basically different kind of values that a variable can handle. Okay, and this can be different, based on the language you're learning. But I think the most common ones are basically 8. Okay, but we are gonna take a look at the most common 5 of them. Okay, so variables can basically handle or can have different values of integers. I think there is an E right there. Let me create comment, integers, floats, or decimals. booleans and strings. Okay, so these basically are the most four ones. Let me take null just right there. Let me close this out. So these are basically the most five common ones, and this one we are gonna talk about integers. And an integer is basically a non-float value or a non-point value. It can be positive or can be negative, and it only it consists of at least one character. Okay, so again, integers are basically non-point numbers. They can be positive or negative, and we at least hold or handle one number. So in PHP we don't actually need to define which which variable will take an integer or which variable will take a float. No, we only define the variables like that. We don't need to write over here that this is an integer or whatever. This is like in C++, Java, and C#. But here in PHP, it's really easy to write variables. Okay, you just write the name of the variable, and PHP will assign that variable to its type right away. So here is a basic integer, number equals 4. Okay, and if we go ahead and write our method, which is var dump, and it will basically get the type of this variable right here and its value right there. It's really handy when you debug your code. If we go ahead and go to our browser right there, and there you go, integer number 4. And if we choose another method, which is get type, which also gets the type of the variable right there, and it didn't print anything. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, we actually forgot our echo right there. It's a message, so it's not like var dump. Var dump can print it, and this is like another kind of method. It needs echo to print it out. So if we go ahead and go right there, and there you go, it's an integer. So it can be written like that, or we can just put structure right there, so we can make it negative, and it's also an integer right there. So this is it for integers. They're really simple, as you can see, and in the next one we are going to take a look at floats. Okay, see you. So now to floats, which is going to be very quick. A float is basically a number, with a decimal point. This is it. Also can be positive or can be negative. So I'm here in my floats file, right there. May write a variable, and you can name this whatever you want actually. So let me write 1.1 and use our var dump, so we can identify the data type for this variable. Now save. You don't actually need to create a file every lecture. You can put them in one file or whatever, but I wanna just keep the code for you. So will be float 1.1. If we put change it like that to negative, and there you go, it's still a float. So this is basically it for floats, and see you in the next one. Yeah, bye. Hello guys, and what's going on? So this one's also very quick, which is all about booleans. So booleans represent uh, two two values, just true or false. Okay, and we are going to talk in a bit of details about them in the control structure or section. Okay, just in the next lectures. But let's see some examples right now. Well, we only represent two possible values, which can be true or false. Let me try for down ball and go to my browser right there, and there you go, it echoes out true. So we can also try false, and this will basically print false right there. So that's basically it, and there are going to be, a lot of them in the control structure. You won't use them like that. Okay, you will only use them, or 99% of the time will be used in the if statements or switch statements. So this is it for this one. So now to the most important data type ever, which is strings right there. Okay, so a string is basically a bunch or a sequence of characters, numbers. It can also contain numbers and signs. Okay, so let me try one right there, and can be put in single quotes or just double quotes, just like that. Okay, so this is just a string. Okay, and this is a semicolon, and our bar done is right there. Strings, and there you go. This is just a string. There is the for dump, just echo it out. So we can try one. We can add. This is just, we can add some any number right there. Let me just add a number so I can emphasize that. And there you go, it's still a number right there, despite the fact it has still a string, despite the fact that it has numbers right there. And this is the number, and this is the number of the characters in this string. And also a space is counted. A space can also be represented as a string. Okay, so if we go and do another one, let me go string 2, and if we just use numbers, let's say 99, like that, let's echo it out, consider a string. Okay, despite the fact that it's actually a number, it's just because it's inside a quotes, PHP will consider it a string. Okay, so this is it for this one. Okay, see you. Now to another short one, which is nulls. Okay, so A null is basically a special data type that has no has only one value, which is null. Okay, if a variable is set to null, that means it doesn't have any value assigned to it. Okay, let me create a quick one for you. Let me call it var equals null. You can write it like this in lowercase or in uppercase, all like this. Okay, if we var done this, okay, I'm in my file null.php. So null, you can see right there, it's null. Okay, let me just, I'm going to assign this same value for, a normal string value. Let's call it string right there, and the same variable right here with the same name is going to be assigned to null also. Okay, so if we var dump this, save this like that, it will be also null. Okay, and that means that this variable right here doesn't have any value. Okay, so this indicates also that variables can be overwritten. Okay, just like that. If you want to change this value right there, you can set this variable to any value you want. Okay, just by writing it again and again, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is it for nulls, and see you in the next video.